In this lesson, we're going to write linear equations given the slope and the y-intercept. So how do I write an equation given the slope and the y-intercept? The first step, we're always going to calculate the slope. The second step is we are going to find the y-intercept, and in many cases we will be substituting and solving for b to find that y-intercept. And the third step is to write the equation of the line back in y is equal to mx plus b. So remember that when we've solved for y in an equation, that we know that the m is going to be our slope, and then the number without the variable, the b, is going to be our y-intercept. So write the equation of the line given the slope and the y-intercept. So these we're going to simply just take our y is equal to, if we know that our slope is -2, we're going to plug that in for our m, x, and then our y-intercept is 5. And there we have an equation written in slope-intercept form. For our second one, we have a slope of 8. So we have y is equal to, again, we're going to plug in the 8 or substitute that in for the m, x, and then I have -7, so it's going to be -7 for our y-intercept. And our third one here, we'll have y is equal to 3 all over 4, x, and then we'll have -3. All right, so how do I write an equation of the line given the graph? All right, again, our first step is going to be to calculate the slope. So let's find the slope of this first one. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 2. So my slope is equal to 6 all over 2, then, which we can simplify to 3. And our y-intercept, remember the y-intercept is where it's going to cross the axis at the y-axis. And so here, let's erase this. All right, so where it's crossing at the y-axis then is right here at the -2. So our b is equal to -2. So now we just have to write this into slope-intercept form. Y is equal to 3x, and then the y-intercept is 2, so we have -2. All right, for our next one, we're going to find the slope. We're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we're going over 2, so we have -8 all over 2, which is going to be equal to -4. And then our y-intercept is right here at the 1, so our b is equal to 1. And so now let's just plug it back into the y is equal to mx plus b. We'll have y is equal to -4x plus 1. And one more. So we're going to find the slope and our y-intercept. And again, let's count. We're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 all over 1, which is equal to 5. And our y-intercept looks like it's right there at the 4. So we'll have y is equal to 5x plus 4. All right, so how do I write an equation given 2 points? All right, so first of all, remember that the first step is to find the slope. So let's find the slope. We have x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'm going to use a slope formula and taking -1 minus 4, so y of 2 minus y of 1, all over x of 2, which is 0, minus 10. So we'll have -5 all over -10, and then that's going to be equal to positive then 1/2. All right, so our slope is equal to 1/2. And now we need to find the y-intercept. In these here, you'll notice that we have 0, -1, and remember that y-intercept is when x is 0, the y-intercept, so I have 0, -1, that's my y-intercept. So anytime you have a 0 for the x, you're given that y-intercept. So in this case, our b is equal to -1 because the x is 0, the y-intercept is -1. So we're going to have y is equal to then 1/2 x minus 1. All right, so we're going to write our equation in slope-intercept form. Again, our first step is always to find the slope. So I'm going to then take m is equal to, we have our x of 1, y of 1, x of 2, y of 2. I'm going to plug it into the slope formula, which is y of 2 minus y of 1, which is 8, all over x of 2, which is 5, minus 0. So my slope, I'm going to have negative 9 all over 5. So there's our slope is negative 9 all over 5. And then our y-intercept, again, if you look at this one, our y-intercept is when x is 0, because I have 0, 0, 8. I have 0, I'm going to go up 8. So here's our 0, 8. So that's where it's crossing the y-intercept. So we know that the b in this case is going to be equal to 8. So now let's go ahead and write it into slope-intercept form. I'm going to have y is equal to negative 9 all over 5x plus 8. All right, number 3. All right, we're going to find the slope, find the y-intercept so that we can write the equation. So again, our slope, x1, y1, x2, y2. We're going to take our negative 14 minus, now don't forget that this was a negative 8, so minus negative 8 all over 0 minus, here's our x of 2, minus negative 6. So again, remember that two negatives make a positive, and we're going to have that here as well. So negative 14 plus 8 is going to give us a negative 6, and then those two negative 0 plus 6 is giving us a 6. So we have a slope of negative 1. And then we need to find the y-intercept. And our y-intercept, again, we have this 0, 14 here, 0, and then we have down here at 14. So our y-intercept is negative 14, so we have b is equal to negative 14. So let's plug it in. Y is equal to negative 1x, or you could just have negative x too, that would work, minus 14. So in this lesson, we learned how to write equations given the slope and the y-intercept.